Podcast 288 Voices of the Caribbean. Dr. William Anderson Giddens, D.D., episode title Has Barbados Maintained Its Postcolonial Heritage from 1966 to 2026? Copyright 2026, ISBN 9798904521943. Hi, and welcome to this special episode of Voices of the Caribbean, where we'll take a deep dive into an intriguing question. Has Barbados maintained its post-colonial heritage from 1966 to 2026? Copyright 2026, ISBN 9798904521943. I am your host, Dr. William Anderson Giddens, D.D., broadcasting from the beautiful island of Barbados, a scholar with a unique multidisciplinary approach to understanding the evolution of Barbados. As a cultural theorist, photojournalist, podcaster, publisher, and Doctor of Divinity, I will guide you through the complex layers of Barbadian identity as it has shifted and evolved over the past 60 years. It's a pleasure, as a proud Barbadian citizen, to be part of this important conversation about the preservation and transformation of Barbadian heritage. It's a topic that's very close to my heart. In this episode, we'll explore how Barbados, known as the Gem of the Caribbean, has navigated its post-colonial journey and what this means for its national identity today. Part 1. Political Evolution and Governance. Let's begin by setting the stage. Barbados gained its independence from British colonial rule on November 30th, 1966, marking a new chapter in its history. How did this political transition impact the formation of a new national identity? This is a great starting point. In 1966, Barbados made a conscious decision to take its place in the world as an independent nation. The first Prime Minister, the Right Excellent Errol Walton Barrow, PCQC, one of the 10 official national heroes of Barbados, played a key role in cementing a national consciousness centered on democratic values, drawing heavily from the Westminster model, Lewis 2016. However, the real turning point came on November 30th, 2021, when Barbados officially became a republic. Barbados made a historic transition from a constitutional monarchy to a parliamentary republic, removing the British monarch as the head of state. Dame Sandra Prunella Mason, FB GCMG DASC, became the first president of Barbados, a position she had previously held as Governor General. The Honorable Mir Amar Mortley, SC MP, was Barbados's 8th Prime Minister when it became a republic. His Excellency, the Most Honorable Jeffrey Bostic, FB MVO, is Barbados's 2nd President. This bold move was more than just symbolic. It marked a definitive break with colonial structures and reaffirmed Barbados's sovereignty and republicanism. More 2022. It was an act of self-determination that aligned with regional movements for post-colonial autonomy, such as Trinidad and Tobago's Republican transition on August 1st, 1976, Williams, 2005. Reflecting on this, it's fascinating to consider that this shift in governance reflects a broader regional trend toward republicanism. But beyond the politics, how did this transition impact the nation's collective identity? It's crucial to recognize that while the political shift was significant, it also symbolized a deeper evolution in the Barbadian psyche. The move to a republic was not just about governance, but about reshaping how Barbadians saw themselves. Moving from subjects of a monarchy to citizens of a republic. It was a way of reclaiming the narrative of self-governance and national pride. Smith, 2023. Economic development and challenges. Moving on to economics, Barbados's colonial past was deeply tied to sugar production. Over the years, the island has diversified significantly, shaping its economic landscape. Barbados's colonial economy was predominantly built on sugar, a legacy of the plantation system. Beckles, 1990. However, in the late 20th century, the government made a strategic decision to diversify the economy, focusing on tourism, international business, and financial services. By the 1990s, tourism had become one of the main economic pillars. Barbados Ministry of Finance, 2018. Despite these advancements, the country has faced challenges. The 2008 global financial crisis hit hard, as did the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, which severely impacted tourism, an industry that accounts for a large portion of the GDP, World Bank, 2021. Even so, Barbados has shown remarkable resilience. The government has taken steps to restructure the economy, emphasizing sustainability and technological innovation as a way forward. Barbados Economic Development Board, 2024. This is part of Barbados's ongoing quest to redefine its post-colonial economic structures while dealing with the realities of a globalized economy. Barbados is navigating a delicate balancing act, honoring its heritage while foregoing a path to sustainability. Part 3. Cultural Identity and Heritage. Now, let's talk about culture. Barbados is often celebrated for its rich and diverse cultural heritage. How has the island preserved and evolved its cultural identity over the past 60 years? As a cultural theorist, I see Barbadian identity as a tapestry woven from many threads, African, Caribbean, and British influence. Clark, 2015. One of the key ways Barbados has preserved its heritage is by reclaiming its African roots, particularly through events like crop over. What started as a colonial harvest festival has been re-imaged into a vibrant national celebration honoring African traditions while reflecting contemporary Barbadian life. Watts, 2019. Additionally, the Bajan dialect, often seen in songs, spoken word, and daily conversations, has been instrumental in preserving cultural continuity. The language itself is a symbol of Barbadian resilience, blending historical influences and exemplifying cultural hybridity. Smith and Marshall, 2020. Reflecting on this, it's incredible that Bajan identity is not just about celebrations, but also about symbols and practices that reflect Barbadian pride. Culinary traditions, music, dance, and festivals like the Oystons Fish Festival and Cropover are part of a living cultural heritage connecting past and present, Brong 2017. These expressions remind Barbadians of their roots and provide a sense of unity and identity in the modern world. Part 4. Social progress and education. Let's discuss social progress. Barbados has long been recognized for its high literacy rates and strong educational system. Education has played a pivotal role in shaping post-colonial Barbadian identity. Research shows education has been foundational in Barbados' development since independence, Johnson 2018. Modeled initially on British educational ideals, Barbados adapted its system to meet local needs, resulting in one of the Caribbean's highest literacy rates, UNICEF 2023. But education is about more than academic success. It is also about empowerment, particularly for women and marginalized groups. Over the past 6 decades, Barbados has made significant strides in gender equality, labor rights, and healthcare, contributing to a more inclusive society. Caribbean Development Bank 2022. Nonetheless, challenges remain, including youth unemployment and income inequality, which require ongoing attention. Barbados Statistical Service 2025. Part 5. Spiritual and Moral Foundations. Finally, let's touch on spirituality. How have spiritual and moral values shaped Barbadian society? Barbados is a deeply Christian society with moral frameworks grounded in Christian teachings. Biblical principles about justice, compassion, and stewardship have influenced both personal behavior and public policy. Johnson and Clark 2021. The verse, I quote, "Righteousness exalteth a nation," end quote, Proverbs 14:34, King James Version, resonates beyond religious devotion. It is a guiding principle in Barbadian politics and society. Gittins 2024. This reflects the strong belief that moral leadership is essential for national success and stability. Conclusion. In closing, this has been an enlightening conversation. It's clear that Barbados has not only maintained its post-colonial heritage, but has redefined it through resilience, transformation, and continuous negotiation of its identity. From politics to culture, economics to education, Barbados continues to evolve while staying deeply rooted in its past. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. It's been a pleasure. I hope this conversation sparks further reflection on how small nations like Barbados navigate their post-colonial paths. It's about maintaining our heritage while embracing the future. Thank you, listeners, for joining us on this journey through Barbados's post-colonial evolution. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the rich histories and cultures of the Caribbean. God bless.